to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg. This is Bachelor Talks. Today we are covering episode 4 in Singapore of Colton's season. I have a lot of thoughts about this episode. It is quite the packed episode, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump on in. But if you are new, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more Bachelor Talk episodes, and then for next season, Bachelorette Talks. I also do makeup videos if you have any interest in that. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be a part of Power Hour. Every time I upload, the first hour my video is live, I will be in the comments responding left and right super fast. So if you want to get your Bachelor discussion in and keep it going, be sure to have the bell notification on so you can be here right when this video is live. Also stick tuned. Also, stick until the end of the video because we are going to be doing a theory breakdown where I look at the comments that you left me in last week's video and we have a discussion about your ideas and thoughts. Oh man, every time I think like, oh, maybe next week's episode will be shorter, I feel like my notes just get longer and longer. So, without further ado, me and my mullet are ready to get into it. So, the very first date card, we have Tayshia, who is like come out of the woodwork, who's kind of been, you know, behind the scenes. She gets the one-on-one, which is kind of the purpose of these dates. The one-on-ones are either with somebody that the person is really feeling or somebody that they're really unsure about. But luckily for Tayshia, she was able to pull it out, get it together, and get a rose to earn another week in the house. I feel like she was a little bit of a standout this episode. However, watching her interact with Colton, she did open up a little bit more. I always feel like that's everybody's downfall, is that they don't open up enough and they get sent home. But you could tell that she still wasn't fully comfortable, probably with the experience having a camera in her face all the time. You could tell she still wasn't fully opening up and truly being herself during this episode. Or I should say during this date, and they went bungee jumping, which I honestly don't know if I would do bungee jumping. I jumped out of an airplane, so I was fine with that, but for some reason, trusting a cord to like not snap, and then like was the pool down there at the bottom, so like in case if it did snap, it's like less scary, and like maybe you have less of a chance of dying if you like fall into water instead of just like splattering on the ground. I'm sorry. One note that I had was that the episode, it starts off so quickly with the drama. As soon as she gets a date card, all the girls are like, yeah, that's so fun, I'm so happy for you, but their eyes are like, insert the fucking picture of Hannah and her little inner monster coming out. The inner monster came out of everybody. You could just see the fire and steam coming out of their ears and the daggers being shot at Tasha because she got the date card. So that's fun. Here we have more vlogging from Colton, and I went in a whole little mini rant in my notes, but I'm not gonna get into it because it doesn't fucking matter. But yeah, why are we trying to have Colton vlog on a TV show? Just have him talk to the damn camera. Also on the date with Tasha, she opens up that she was recently, well, I don't know if it was recent, but she was divorced. Basically, she got married really young, and I feel like that is something that happens to a lot of people, and I don't think that there's any shame in that. I feel like it's 2019, and we're still shaming a lot of, I guess, women in particular for if they were married and got divorced. I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. I feel like when most people set out to get married, they don't set out to get divorced. They plan on sticking with that person. However, when you are growing up from your late teens, and then even from 20 to 30, you grow and change so much as a person. So I feel like in instances where people do marry young, yes, there are plenty of people that make it work, but there are also people that can't make it work because they don't grow and change together. They grow and change apart. And I feel like that is just a part of life because we, you know, we're not always friends with the same people we were in high school or even the same people we were friends with in college, because you go on different paths, and that's okay. It's okay to not always stick with the same people. So that was kind of an irrelevant tangent, so I'm sorry you just had to listen to me go on that. And at the end of the day, she gets the rose, and we get the typical, I'm starting to fall with you. So you know next week, literally every girl's gonna be like, I'm falling in love with you, Colton. So that's gonna be fun. So now we are going to go ahead and move along to the group date. I had something else that I wanted to say, but it honestly, like, it just left my mind. We'll see if it comes back. But we have both Hannahs. And beauty pageant Hannah was slowly starting to like lose her shit because I feel like she knew in the back of her mind that Kaylin was gonna get the other one-on-one, but like that's like her worst nightmare. So of course she was just automatically panicking. So we have both Hannahs, Elise, Kerba, Sydney, Onika, Heather, Tracy, Nicole, Demi, Courtney, Cassie, and Katie. That is quite the mouthful. Basically they're just strolling around Singapore, eating a bunch of, you know, food that is more traditional to the Singapore area and just hanging out for the day. And here starts the shit show with Demi. Again, I feel like Demi is like the character that like everybody like, you know, I shouldn't say we all, I hate watch The Bachelor. And I feel like Demi is a person that you love to hate. Like there's just something about her that you're still just kind of like, but you agree with what she's saying. At least that's me. And I know a lot of you guys were agreeing with me in the comments down below, so I'm glad I'm not alone with that. But basically Demi straight out says her game plan. She's like, I'm on a group date, but I'm gonna act like it's a solo date, and I'm gonna, you know, treat Colton the way I would treat him if it was just him and I. Is that not the smart thing to do? I don't get like this whole like, we all need to take turns and we need to make it fair for everyone. Like, at the end of the day, you're not there to like be friends with the girls. You're there to form a relationship and hopefully marry the person that you're set out to date. So I guess I just don't understand the mindset. And it's like, with everything, there's a line in the sand, and I don't think Demi's ever really crossed that line yet. I just think she's being smart with her strategy, because at the end of the day, it is like a game show, and you are trying to make it to the end to see if you can develop that relationship, if you want marriage with the person. I don't think there's anything wrong with what she did. I did think it was kind of funny how they edited Hannah, beauty pageant Hannah, to basically be ignored the whole time. I'm sure that was more in her head, but like the way that they just edited it to go along with her paranoia, I thought it was entertaining. Like, I shouldn't be laughing at her expense, but again, she did this whole thing to herself. I also have in my notes here that it's interesting when they announced the group date, you could just see like the crazy, kind of like Hannah's crazy eyes starting to come out. Demi saw it and she just said it was annoying because while they may have moved past the drama in the house, like they're not like going at each other, she said it's clear that Colton hasn't moved on from the drama. So she finds it annoying that that's taking time away from other people, which I also agreed with. I also cannot deal with this leech date, okay? I don't care, you're not gonna put a fucking leech on me. And I'm sorry, I'm like really swearing in this video, but you are not going to put a leech on me. Even Colton was like, what the hell are we doing here? But you know, these girls wanted to impress him, so they're like, all right, cover my body in leeches. I mean, it's only 90% of the time the thing that is on, that like every episode of the monster inside of me, or like a river monster or whatever it is based off. It's based off of leashes. So sure, let's just like put them all over us. It's a great time. Throughout this date, we slowly see Hannah losing her shit. And in my mind, I'm like, tick tock, when's the meltdown gonna happen? Because I feel like we're due for it any minute here. She did not have a meltdown on this group date, but she did go as far to eat a fisheye to try to get Colton's attention. And I thought it was kind of funny that in the edit, the only time he was giving her attention from what we saw was when he was pressuring her into eating the fisheye. I was just like, I can't with this show. The thing with Cassie, they kind of sat down with somebody that kind of looked like they did like tarot cards or something like that. And the guy was basically saying like in a past life, you guys were connected and you guys were brother, sister in a past life. And they were so juvenile about it. It really irked me and like truly rubbed me the wrong way. And I wish that they were a little more educated on the matter. It's not gross to be like, ew, you were my sister in a past life. I don't want to make out with my sister. Like, If you ever get a reading done and somebody says like your significant other or even just a family member was connected to you in a past life, like for example, Cassie and Colton, you were brother and sister in your past life, that means that your souls are truly bonded and connected, and that no matter what life that you're in, your souls are trying to meet up and always be together. You will go to readings and have people that have been connected through past lives, whether they were cousins, whether it was a mother and father relationship, whether, or I should say like a father-daughter relationship, a mother-daughter relationship, whether they were lovers in a past relationship. You can have cousins in the room that were lovers in the past life. It just means that your souls are really bonded and really connected together, and that if you allow that connection to happen, it is going to be kind of like an above all connection that you would get from somebody else that you weren't connected with in the past life. I'm not explaining this super great. If you'd like to know more information on that, by the way, check out Crystal Corner. It's my other channel. I talk about all that kind of stuff over there. Link in the description. So for me, it just irked me how they were kind of poking fun of it and being like, ew, we were brother and sister. Like, we shouldn't be kissing. Like, come on. You should be like, oh, this is so cool. Like, we have such a strong connection and bond. And by the way, I feel like editing is playing us. I feel like Cassie is a true front runner. And that just kind of like confirmed that thought with me when they said that they were connected in a past life. I feel like we're not really seeing much of her at all. And I feel like that's because she has such a strong bond with Colton. I feel like editing and producing is kind of holding that back, and we're gonna see the relationship develop a little bit more because you can just kind of see it with the chemistry between them. I feel like there's been more going on that we haven't seen. Now we're gonna move on to the start of the Courtney and Demi drama. So girls on the show like Courtney always irk me because they're the ones that are passive, that are sitting there. They're expecting the Bachelor to come up to them, to focus on them. But I'm sorry, when you're on a group with, I think there was like, what, 13 of them? How many were there? Literally 13 people on a date. You cannot expect the Bachelor or the Bachelorette to be focused on, okay, who have I talked to, who haven't I talked to? They're just focusing on whoever is coming up to them. The name of the game is you go up to the Bachelor, you go up to the Bachelorette. They're not gonna be chasing after you. You have to chase after them. If you want a connection with them, you have to make that happen. And sitting on the sideline and getting pissed that nobody's letting you have a turn is just so juvenile and so ridiculous to me. Realize what show you're on and don't put other people's feelings into consideration so much, because at the end of the day, you're hurting yourself and you're giving yourself a ticket to go home if you're just gonna sit there and be like, okay, well, I need to make sure it's fair for everyone. Nobody's making sure that it's fair for you, so look out for yourself, look out for number one, remember why you're there, and just go up and talk to somebody. Don't be too prideful to not talk to them. So I'm not sure what the issue was, if she was too worried about trying to make sure it was fair for everyone, which why should you care that much? Or if she just expected Colton to come up to her. So what is your take on Courtney? Like, what did you think her deal was? I would love to know your thoughts. And then I just find it hilarious because I feel like, again, like everybody on the show like wants to be like, screw Demi, but she was encouraging Courtney, like, girl, go talk to him. Don't sit around. And you saw later on in the night, literally every single girl was like, Courtney, go talk to Colton. Shut up and just go talk to him. And she still would not get up and go talk to him. So she wants to sit there and say like, Demi's bullying her, Demi's doing this, Demi's doing that, but she's really doing it to herself. And literally every single girl there was telling her the same thing Demi did. And I don't really think Courtney had a right to get upset with Demi because Demi talked to Colton twice. I think that that's just ridiculous. I feel like maybe the pressure of being in the house and just like the stress of it all is starting to get to her. You can really tell like what girls start to crack under the pressure. I feel like Tisha was one of them and she's starting to get it together. But with Courtney, you just gotta do the damn thing. And don't get upset because Demi told you to go talk to somebody and then she went and talked to him. Were you getting up to go talk to Colton? No. So why should Demi or any other girl sit on the couch and wait for you to make your move? Why would anybody do that? So to get upset that Demi went to go talk to Colton after you expressed that you haven't talked to him yet, there's really no grounds to be upset. I think it's pretty clear that Courtney is very insecure with herself. I feel like being in this high pressure situation, having cameras following you around, being in a house where you know, you can't have TV, you can't have your phone. I don't even think they're allowed to have books. You're literally, it has to be a very stressful and like high like psychological situation. And I feel like being around a bunch of other girls is just going to feed into any insecurity that you already walked into the house with. I think that it's just very clear, in my opinion, that Courtney is just extremely insecure with herself. And instead of looking at herself and dealing with her own issues or like dealing with her fear of maybe talking to Colton, it's easier for her to sit there and take it out on Demi. And I have to really commend Demi, because as much as she comes off as immature on the show, as like basically her just acting happy and bubbly, she really handles these sit-down situations well. Like when Tracy was coming at her, now she has Courtney coming at her. She doesn't really get nasty. She could throw a drink at somebody, she could start swearing, she could start yelling at them, but she just says, okay, like that's your opinion. So I have to give her props for handling these girls attacking her and her just being like, okay. I mean, I honestly don't know how Demi didn't freak the frig out on Courtney or Tracy, because I do not have the patience to put up with that. And I also laughed. It's like I shouldn't be laughing at Courtney's expense, but I laughed when Demi said she puts the ass in class, and it just instantly brought me back to Bring It On. They're like, she puts a whore in horticulture, she puts the bitch in itch. Like, that's just like, I felt like I was watching Bring It On there for a second. And where the hell was Tracy this episode? Like, I am kind of shook that Tracy was like low-key behind the scenes, because you would think with her issues with Demi, she would chime in with Courtney and it would kind of be the two of them against Demi. So I'm kind of surprised that Tracy like took a back seat to this, and she was like literally nowhere to be seen. But maybe that's because she went home this episode, so production was like, let's not give her any more airtime. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? And of course, meltdown of the week clearly goes to Courtney, who even said, I feel like I should just go home right now. Girl, you probably should have. I think it was really sweet that Nicole went over to comfort Courtney. I don't think Nicole like necessarily agreed with Courtney, but it was nice that, you know, she was able to show compassion towards her when she was upset. The last thing I'm gonna say about Demi and Courtney is that we always have the girl that puts a foot in her mouth, which was Hannah. And then you always have somebody that goes and was like, listen, this person's being really annoying. And then like the bachelor or bachelorette listens to them and they end up going home. You could just see the look on Colton's face. Like, he's just so over this girl drama. Like, I think he kind of like regretted in that moment, like, oh boy, more problems. Why did I sign up for this show again? All right, now let's quickly discuss Kaylin's date. You know, I found it interesting that Hannah was kind of trying to knock Kaylin's date. I feel like Hannah's just being very, very petty. I feel like Kaylin definitely did something to Hannah, because Hannah is coming across very hurt, in my opinion, and very petty because she had been hurt. Whether or not Kaylin actually did something though, and then maybe it was just more in Hannah's head, I have no idea. If anybody knows exactly what the drama is, let me know in the comments, because I would love to know. But anyways, she kind of knocks Kaylin like, oh, this is a kind of perfect date for her. Like, she would love, like, you know, just trying dresses on all day and like somebody pampering her. But then like 2 seconds later, Hannah contradicts herself and was like, yeah, I would love it if somebody would buy me a dress and shoes. So there is really no need for a 2-on-1 at this point with Hannah and Kaylin, because Kaylin decides to be the bigger person, pull Hannah aside and kind of squash the beef. They don't really get down to the details of what their beef was, but they seem to at least surface-wise be quote-unquote over it, but we'll see. I'll give it another episode or like another half episode before there's something else that happens with Hannah saying something about Kaylin. And this is where things got really deep in the episode. For trigger purposes, I'm not going to discuss the details of what was said on Kaylin and Colton's date, but it was a very serious topic about assault, and I feel really bad for her, and it's just really upsetting to see how the system is just working against people that this happens to, and it's just really upsetting. that basically wraps up the episode. We move on to the rose ceremony, and lo and behold, I was kind of surprised that Courtney went home. I was like waiting for her to get the last rose, you know, I was kind of waiting for it, but damn, Demi really lucked out. She got Tracy and Courtney gone in the same episode. I will say that Demi was acting a little immature when they were sent home, and just like the way she was acting, the gesture she was making, that was immature, but you could kind of see in the confessional, she's totally drunk. Not to excuse her behavior, but now I want to do top picks really fast. So who are the top picks for you? So top 3 for me is definitely Cassie, definitely Kaylin, because I think her one-on-one with Colton just basically solidified her relationship. Like, she could probably just like skate the rest of the way straight to the finale, honestly. And I do find Kaylin to be genuine. So I don't think that she's full of crap. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. And I also can see Hannah, the beauty blogger, in the top 3 as well. I kind of feel like production has been hiding their relationship, because you can just see the way that they interact, their chemistry is just like, so I definitely feel like Casey and Hannah, beauty blogger, beauty blogger, are definitely, or content creator, are definitely front runners, and we just haven't seen the extent of that relationship yet with either of them and Kaylin. So who are your top 3 picks? I'm gonna go ahead and go to the comment section from last week's video and see what you guys had to say. So I had a comment left to me asking if I had seen Kaylin shade Hannah on Instagram. So I found the article, I'm doing some investigation, and apparently during their pageant, Hannah uploaded a picture on Instagram where she was wearing an orange jumpsuit, it looked like, and she said, "Orange is the new pink." And then Kaylin uploaded a picture of her wearing pink and said, "Whoever said orange is the new pink is seriously disturbed," which is a quote from Legally Blonde. Like, as soon as I was starting to read the person's comment, that's the first thing that popped up in my mind, and that's actually what the reference was for. So that was quite shady of Kaylin to do, not gonna lie. Obviously they have beef. And then reading further into this article, apparently a friend of Kaylin said that Kaylin came to stay with her in LA and she received with Hannah, and Hannah was upset that Kaylin made a very difficult time for Hannah during Miss USA, and that's really all that had been said. And basically they were just alluding that Hannah was trying to be the bigger person by telling Kaylin congratulations, and it seems like Kaylin may have rubbed that in her face. So that could be the gist of the beef, but I don't know, I feel like there has to be something more that happened. So if you know, let me know. It was Skater that left that comment for me, by the way. I just wanted to give you a shout out. And a lot of you guys really liked Elise too, so I'm interested. I mean, they really alluded to the fact that Elise is basically gonna get shit on in next week's episode. I can't really see that happening. Right now, my opinion of Elise is that she is the CN of this season. I loved CN on Ari's season. I thought that she was amazing. She was too good for, well, basically everybody on that show was too good for Ari. I would have really loved to see CN be a bachelorette, and I would love to see her as a bachelorette in the future. I think she would be amazing. I think she's an amazing woman. And I kind of feel like Elise is that of Colton's season. So yeah, let me know your predictions if you have any tea. Just no spoiler of who won the show. I avoid reality Steve, so if you've already looked into that, cool. I don't want to know. I don't think people watching the video want to know. If you do want to know, check Reality Steve, because apparently you can find spoilers to just about any show over there. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry all my videos are so long. I just have so much to say about this show. I really appreciate you sticking around, and don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Check out my other videos here, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone.